What's going on YouTube? This your boy K, and I'm here with a review of the movie Belly, which was a 1999 film directed by Hype Williams, starring Nas, DMX, a bunch of other rappers. It's kind of a hood film. DMX, Nas, they're both friends. They're both in this drug enterprise, and they go to state to set up more of their enterprise. They're the drug enterprise thing, and one thing leads to another, which leads to a lot of deception, foolishness, niggometry, nigga geometry, and all types of, crazy shit. To me, it's a very typical hood movie, if that's what you want to call it. I know a lot of people like the film. A year ago, I want to just talk to you a little bit about a story that happened to me. So a year ago, in the BAM Theater, downtown Brooklyn, New York City. Go down there. They play a lot of nice independent type films, which, every time I have to review an independent film, I usually go there, and try to catch one of their flicks. Nice theater. Beautiful location, everything like that. Lafayette Avenue. You should check it out if you're ever in Brooklyn. They had something called, I forget what it was called exactly, but it was like something about hood classic movies that they were showing screenings of and stuff like that. They had Belly up there, and Belly as one of these films, and I was taken aback. I was like, wow, Belly. That's kind of odd. And just recently, I had saw something on the internet where they had the top 10 hood movies or something like that. And somehow Belly made it on that list, and it was like 7th or 6th. Maybe even higher. I just couldn't remember, and I was just like, really? A lot of people like this movie Belly. And I really couldn't believe it, because And I hate to bring up the black community and act like I'm like the authority of the black community, because I'm not. I don't even go there sometimes. But Belly as a classic hood movie is a fucking disgrace. I just have to say that real quick. Belly is a fucking horrible film. Okay? I'm not going to miss my words no more. I've been as patient and as nice as I can be about this film, Belly. Belly is a fucking terrible film. It's terrible. It's not good in no way, shape, or form. Okay? To get to the point of Belly, I would have to say this about this film. Black people, especially when you go to the real ghetto urban areas, claim to like this film. And at the end of this review, I'm going to show you how you can prove that black people do not like this film, and that tribalism is a part of the reason why they act like they like this film. I will prove it to you at the end of this review, because I've talked to many of black people, and they swear that they love this film. They swear, but can't quote shit from this film. Now, I gotta give you some history of why black people act like they like this film. First of all, let me just do a real quick review of the film. It's fucking horrible. Nas' acting is embarrassing. His narration in the film is almost a joke. His acting is almost as if, the biggest problem with rappers when they want to be actors is what happens in this movie right here, Belly, is that they want to take their persona of what they claim they are in their raps, and they want to bring the shit over to the film, and it looks fucking horrible. It comes off terrible. It's no real acting. It's just, be a nigga. All right, cut. And that's all it is. That's literally what the director tells them to do. Be a nigga. All right, break. his acting is terrible. DMX is pretty solid in the film. I think he's the only one that's bringing any kind of life in the film. The film is just joyless, lifeless. It's actually an ugly film. There is actually one shot in the film that I thought was pulled off with great precision and execution by Hype Williams. That would be the first 3 minutes of the film, which is pretty much DMX and Nas going into a nightclub and robbing a place and killing some people. That was done with some precision and great execution. That scene alone, but nothing else. Everything else looks muddled, dark, disgusting, hyper stylized to the point of looking cheesy. And yeah, I don't even know what the fuck is going on at the end of this film. Has something to do with Nas, not Nas, but DMX getting some type of orders from the FBI to kill a leader of the Nation of Islam. The film is all over the place. It's fucking horrible. A lot of the imagery that goes on in this film, you can tell that they fucking blatantly stole from Scarface, the movie. It is painful. Just look at the fucking cover of Belly and look at the cover of Scarface. You can tell that this person has fucking tried to emulate this whole Scarface thing to a T, and it was a complete disaster watching this. I'm telling you, this is a disaster. This is a disaster of film. Now let me give you some subtext behind why black people act like they like this film. You have to remember, I'm gonna give you some history about this. You gotta remember, this movie was made in 1999. Okay, at this point in motion picture cinema, they had stopped making movies about, I would say, the black experience, like the young black male experience that that lives in the ghetto. They had kind of stopped making movies like that. I think the last one was like Higher Learning, which was the leap years better than this film. But that was kind of a thought-provoking movie, and a lot of the 90s movies were like thought-provoking, great pieces of art, and it made you think about some of the things that was happening in the black community in a way that you can visually see it in a stunning way, like movies like Boys in the Hood, movies like Menace to Society, movies like even Higher Learning to an extent, Friday. You can quote that movie. Black people that really like that movie are not just people that just like anything. These are people that really can quote that movie and say lines easily out of that movie. I know you ain't got no job, you ain't got no money, you ain't got shit to do. They can quote little stuff about that film. That tells me that these black people are not with the fuckery, and they're not with just gonna say that they like a film just because it got black people in it. And that's what's going on in Belly, because prior, like I said, in '96 they had stopped making movies that dealt with the urban, habitat or whatever you want to call it, mainly because they weren't making a lot of money. That's the main reason why they stopped making those type of movies. They was like, oh, these people don't want to hear about the realness. They want that fake party, sort of airy comedies, and that's where you get the rise of like Chris Tucker's, the Friday and the Money Talks, and Chris Tucker's on the rise. So in this 4-year gap, black people were hungry for any, especially the young urban black male. He was hungry for any kind of film that he felt dealt with the sort of aggression and sort of the rage that he has in his life. It deals with the lifestyle that he wants, the things that he wants. So up comes a director of music videos, a guy named Hype Williams, who decided that he had an idea. Him and Nas had this idea of this movie called Belly, where they're gonna tell what really goes on in the hoods and how, some guys, make it out of the hood and how they do this and how they set up enterprises all over the states and all that stuff. And so they went out to make this film, and they got more rappers in the film. And at the time, 99, Nas and DMX, they were like two of the hottest rappers out there, They even got cameos from other rappers in this film. Method Man is in the film. So T-Boz is in the film, actually, from TLC, too. And so they got all these people, and they knew that, listen, this is how we're going to have to get people to get to the theaters to watch this thing. We're going to have to trick them. We're going to have to hype them up to make them believe that this is all, like, this is their life on screen that we're going to put on this fucking screen. It's going to be their life. And black people are going to eat this up. Now, here's the thing. When black people act like they like this film, here's the thing about Belly you need to know. It was a fucking flop in the theaters. Nobody went to see it. It fucking flopped. Hard body fucking karate. It flopped. Because at the time, even black people knew this was some bullshit. They knew this was some bullshit. This was a fucking music director who took some music director shit and tried to put it on the screen, and did the most fuckery adaptation of the ghetto that he could possibly do. Like, it was fucking horrible. It's a horrible film. I've already stated why I think it's horrible. Not to mention the fact that the women in the film are just fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, they got women in this film. They could have got any generic black woman to play these roles. They could have got fucking Laura Winslow to play some of these roles. They could have got Rudy Huxtable to be one of the females in this goddamn movie. They could have got any generic woman to play these roles. But they decided to do what they did, and that's fine. Get T-Boz, and I forget the other lady's name, but she's a very pretty woman. I forget her name, but whatever. And so that's kind of the journey of why the movie got made, and like I said, it was a complete and absolute flop. Now, what happened was, what tends to happen sometimes with these films that are flops is that they get put into, heavy rotation in terms of, TV. They put it on cable real fast. They put it on, DVD real fast. They put it out there real fast because they're like, fuck it, we not making no money in the theater. Let's try to market this, in the video form. So they did, and when they did that, that's when people started to act like they rediscovered some shit. Oh, this movie is great. It has DMX and Nas, and he's going inside of a Jamaican, and he killed a Jamaican with some feathers in his head, and man, this is great, man. And I'm telling you right now, that is all black foolishness and tribalism rooted deep inside of some of us black people. Because we knew back then when it was a critical and financial flop that this movie wasn't good. We know good movies. Black people know good movies. We know what the good movies, we know what the good hood movies are. These are the movies that capture us, that make us feel some type of emotion, some type of way about the situation. We've seen the juices. We've seen the poetic justice. These movies capture, the soul of a lot of black people. And they're good. These are good movies. These are movies you can quote. These are movies that resonate with you. Belly, you can't quote shit from that movie. Black people. Here's the thing. If you're a person and you think I'm just being hard on this film, do me a favor. Do me the biggest favor. Go up to a black person, right, and ask them let's talk film. Go black person. Let's talk film. Friday. Do you like Friday? Black people. Yeah, I like Friday. I love Friday. It's funny as hell. Okay, can you quote some stuff from Friday? Like, what was some of the... Not only can black people quote shit from Friday, they can tell you exact detailed plot points that go on in the film. You know, they can quote the littlest shit from Friday. You know, you want to borrow my car? Hell no. You need to borrow a job with your broke ass. You see, I'm telling you, black people can quote that film for verbatim. You go, all right, that's cool, right? So I see you like that film. You go up to them again. You ask them, did you like Belly? They foolish ass gonna say, yeah, I like Belly. Yeah. That shit was all that. Really, could you quote some stuff from Belly and not really like the first 3 minutes of the movie, but like deeper stuff that was going on in the film? Could you? Well, you know what? Yo, son, yo, my dog. It was that scene. You remember that scene, yo, that scene, man, with DMX and that other dude, man. They popped the dude, man. You remember that scene, man? Fuck out of here. You don't like this film. You're just saying what you think society wants you to say about this film. You don't like this film. That's not the way a person answers that question that really likes this film. You tell me plot points, you tell me details, you tell me quotes, you tell me, you know, what was the overall like sort of message that was trying to be conveyed to you while watching this film. Black people cannot answer that question because black people secretly do not like Belly. They just telling you that they do because what they like is they like the fact that a couple of black men made a movie that sort of is set in a world that they fantasize about. It's set in a world that they fantasize about. It's almost like epic fantasies. Like how white people love epic fantasies, but they can't quote shit from those things. It's the same thing with some of these hood films with black people. You know, they swear they love them, but they can't quote shit from them. They can't tell you plot points. They can't tell you nothing about the film. You know, and you know, Belly is one of those films. Belly is a fucking disaster of a film. I will never, you know, to do this review, I had to watch Belly again. It took me 3 days to finish watching this fucking film because I had to stop it every like 20 minutes, you know, because it was so boring and so fucking stupid and just, you know, irrelevant and just the most random scenes you have ever seen in your fucking life just happening in that movie. You know, why don't we just do this scene? Why don't we have a scene where we go to Jamaica? And why don't we have a scene where we kill somebody? And why don't we have a scene where we murder somebody in broad daylight inside of a fucking crowded restaurant? A fancy one at that too. And just have the main guy just stay there. Because that looks cool. If he just stares there, yeah, I just saw somebody get killed. Yeah, but I'm just going to chill right here and wait for the cops to pick me up. Why? Because I'm gangster and I know stupid people will believe that I'm really gangster and I believe that this is just bad fucking writing that's going on in this script. Listen, man. And if I'm lying, I'm flying because DMX, I said that he was pretty good in the film. And he's gotten many roles. After this film, he's gotten many roles because he's the only person that's putting in any type of effort or energy in the film. Nas has not gotten another role after this film because nobody wants to see this guy act no more. He is the Jay-Z. Jay-Z, they shouldn't act. They should never act. They just don't have that. They don't have that. Now, Nas is doing pretty well in terms of these narrations that he's doing with these Hennessy commercials. I give him 2 thumbs up for that. You know, I think he's doing pretty good with those. As for everything else, as for Belly is a fucking disaster of a film. Only black people act like they like this film. It is not a good film at all. If you don't know my rating now you know. Because it's the first time I ever gave some shit this. But fuck it. And fuck you for liking this shit. Because there ain't no fucking way this is a good film. I'm K. Now I'm out. I didn't want to rant. I really didn't. I actually watched this film again just so I can have something positive to say about this film. I couldn't find nothing really. I mean, except for the first 3 minutes that I thought looked pretty cool, that was it. Like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my fucking life. Honestly, man, I can't even I can't fathom the person that looks me in the fucking eye and says, "Yo, this was a good film." That's what I give that person. I'm K, and I'm out.